to another episode of Franchise Nutrition and Fitness Podcast. My name is Ryan. I'm a registered dietitian.
I'm Matt. I'm a certified personal trainer and health coach.
And together, we are Franchise Nutrition and Fitness. You can find us at franchisenutritionandfitness.com. You can also find all of our other available podcasts on podcast platforms that you want to persuade your friends to listen to. But on the other side of things, if you're interested in anything that we have that we've said, or you want to start working with us, go to franchisenutritionandfitness.com, click on the programs and get started link, and go to the bottom, sign up for your free meet and greet, and we'll see you then. But today we're going to talk about something near and dear to our hearts. And even though they're all in the audio, I'm going to pause something. I'm having issues with the computer on this side of things. Matt and I were just reminiscing about technology and how it's changed in our lifetimes. And
so on the audio version, we just need, or in the visual version, we just need like the technical difficulties sign, like, sorry, we'll be right back. But yeah, we were talking about how, it's very easy to complain now how long it takes for a signal to go to a satellite and to relay a signal back. And if it takes longer than we expect, we piss and moan about it. But wasn't so long ago that we were using dial-up internet.
Yeah, this is going to space.
Like, we may or may not have been illegally downloading music and taking forever to make a mixed CD and complaining about the fact that a 12-track CD was taking an entire day to do. But by golly, when you were in the gym listening to that CD, you loved it.
The funny thing about it is I used to love that a 5-minute song would take like an hour to download, and now it takes maybe 20-30 seconds to download. And
you can just instantaneously stream it on Spotify, where you can also stream the Franchise Nutrition and Fitness podcast instantaneously. You can download it for later listening, so you don't have to worry about it coming. There you go.
Right. It's the same also on Google Play Music or on Amazon Music. You can see the same things, stream songs or the Franchise Nutrition and Fitness podcast, whatever you want to do.
I like to alternate between the two. Sometimes I want to, get pumped up, a little metal, and then go, okay, I want some educational information from these two jackasses.
Right. But the kind of funny thing with all of that, talking about back then to now, something that's been kind of consistent for both Matt and I for a long amount of time has been our enjoyment with beer. But in general,
I don't know what you're talking about. I completely abstain. I don't put it out there on all my social media about how much I love beer. No, it doesn't exist.
The Boozerweight definitely doesn't talk about booze at all. No way that man likes anything other than a lot of 12-ounce curls. But I have talked about it previously on previous episodes. Matt really loves doing the bench press. That's one of his preferred exercises. One of these days, maybe we'll host a fun Franchise Nutrition and Fitness case race, which is a different kind of race. For those of you out there, it's not like a running via kind of thing. It's kind of how quickly can you get through several beers. It's a feat of athleticism and perseverance.
Maybe we just put cases on the end of a bar and see if we can bench press those. Like, who can do the most cases? There you go.
It could be like drop sets, right?
There you go. Yeah, just strip it all. I love it.
You take.
See, I'm more anaerobic. You're Mr. Aerobic over here. Like, let's do long distance run. No. Give me let me do short bursts. Throw over the bench press. We'll bench press some cases.
Yeah, hey, that could be. So speaking of aerobic versus anaerobic kind of things, in a few months, at the end of August, so another June, July, August, so 3 months from the time of this recording this podcast, I'll be doing a beer mile where I drink a beer, run a quarter of a mile, drink a beer, run a quarter of a mile, and then do that 2 more times after that. So that way I've had a total of 4 beers, 4 quarter miles. So
I think you've already been drinking today, like, clearly.
It seems like it. I'll tell you this. For those of you that don't know, I work a full-time job at the hospital, and I'm going to be off for the next 3 days. So in attempting to be a good team player, I saw as many patients as I possibly could today. It doesn't necessarily meld well for my mind to be trying to talk to you about anything. So
we're not mentioning what hospital you work at, so we can say, hey, you needed a couple of drinks to get through the shift, right? Like, it's okay. Like, this
Right,
is a
yeah.
safe space, Ryan.
If I could have, I would have. And I'll also just say, sometimes I think some other people that are working there might have already. Like, did you get home from a bar or a club or something, and you quickly changed clothes and just came here? I'd say
See, I worried about that when I had my ankle surgery several years ago. I had a really cool surgeon, and I had surgery on a Monday morning at 6:30, and I'm like, he seems like he goes out and has a good time on the weekends. I'm like, I don't know how confident I am right now.
that's the, you wouldn't want your surgery scheduled on a Friday, because that'd be after Thursday.
There you go. Yeah. So like, I'd have preferred like a Wednesday. He's like, all right, I'm gonna stay sober middle of the week. Like,
I don't know, man. Taco Tuesday. You gotta get like marks.
so what you're telling me is there's not a good time to have ankle surgery. Got it. Like, all right.
You know that your surgeon likes to be a connoisseur of adult beverages. It may never be a good time. Conversely, though, maybe it helps them steady their nerves.
Yeah, maybe it's like muscle memory. Maybe he was drinking like when he was in school and going through all of his coursework. And so like that's just how he remembers everything now. So maybe I would not be comfortable having surgery if they weren't drinking.
Yeah. If you haven't figured it out by now, our topic today is alcohol. We're talking about alcohol and nutrition and fitness and how that works out together.
Yeah, because you may be going, well, how the hell does that work? Because you've probably like adhered to all these different programs before, all these different nutritional programs that demonize alcohol. They demonize so many different foods, but especially alcohol. So today, whenever the hell you're listening to this, we're gonna help kind of reduce some of that stigma responsibly.
Yeah. If you haven't already, you should go ahead and press pause, get your favorite adult beverage ready to go. If you already have your favorite adult beverage, continue listening. So I am not quite ready yet. Matt has
I already poured mine. I made sure, like, as we're recording, I'm getting ready to get the hell out of here and head to a Braves game. So I'm already decked out. My John Smoltz Braves jersey. I'm gonna throw on a jersey over it too, and then my 2021 World Series champions Atlanta Braves, because they got way too much money out of me for merch. Very similar to Ryan with all the UGA merch. I've got some of that as well. Not nearly as much as my Braves, but yeah, you got to make sure you're repping your home team. So let us know on social media. Let us know in the group. Let us know on our page. What team are you repping as you're drinking your frosty cold beverage and listening to this podcast?
All right. So let's see here. See if this will catch it. That's a beautiful, crisp sound. Personally, this is my personal bias. I prefer beer from two sources: a keg or can, not necessarily bottle. And the reason behind that is
because you're a hipster craft douche. We got it.
Beer is photosensitive.
Just no soul.
So going straight to my snobbery, your beer comes in a clear glass bottle. It's probably been skunked a little because of the light that's gone through the glass. So saying. And also cans stack more easily than bottles.
Oh, no doubt. I love my beer fridge. Yeah, stick cans in there, one on top of the other.
But I have to pour here off camera so no one can see what kind of beer are you drinking, Matt?
No, you're wanting to go off camera, so you can't see the logo, and then you immediately ask what kind of beer I'm drinking.
No. I'm not asking the brand. I'm asking the style.
Okay, I'm doing just a good old fashioned, just shitty American light lager.
I have a white stout. So in a glass from a Braves loving company that's based in Georgia. but I'm not. It's not a beer by them. So,
See, I'm having a beer that if they were to advertise it, they're advertising appeals to me because they show people working out a ton and then going and having beer. So do with that what you will, because to me that speaks to me.
Yeah.
Because I like both those things.
So we record these podcasts on Tuesdays, conveniently right before our Facebook Live every Tuesday at 5:45 Eastern Time on the Franchise Nutrition and Fitness Facebook page. And usually right after we're done with that Facebook Live, Matt jets off to do his thing. I jet off to do my thing. And usually on Tuesdays, what I end up doing is going from here downstairs, get in the car, go to a local brewery that has their own run club. So we literally run or walk or jog a distance that you want, that you prefer to go. It's really just kind of a drinking club that likes to move a little bit. It's kind of the whole thing. When our oldest was a very small infant, like in the 6 month range, I would strap him to my chest in a baby carrier and walk 15 minutes out and 15 minutes back, just to make sure that he gets 30 minutes of exercise, even though it's just very moderate, very light to moderate, maybe. It got closer to moderate the heavier he got and the hotter it got outside.
See, that's the principles of aggression. Like if you have a child as he's getting bigger, you have no choice but to keep adding weight.
Yeah, inevitably they get bigger. Or they should. If they don't, you need to go see somebody.
There's an issue. Yeah, you might want to talk to your pediatrician.
Yeah. So when it comes to alcohol and fitness, I always like to point out the first substance banned by the Olympics was alcohol. Matt, do you know what sport they banned it for?
Ooh, no, I do not actually. Why don't you tell me?
So this is where I think people get a little crazy. It was part of the biathlon in winter sports, specifically the shooting part of it, where people were more steadied and were better shots if they had a small amount of alcohol prior to cross country skiing and then stopping and shooting and then cross country skiing some more.
Who would have thought having a mild depressant in your system would have helped
Calm your nerves a little bit.
Oh, geez, it's like not like if what anybody in normal everyday life, like, hey, I had kind of a rough day, let me grab a brew. That kind of makes sense.
Right. And on the other side, there's a current popular kind of thing. It kind of took off, I would say, maybe in the last 5 to 10 years, maybe with whiskey and deadlifts, where it's got more prominent. I think it's kind of social media has aided in its expansion of things. I'm not doubting that people have been doing shots of any liquor before or after big lifts for as long as alcohol has been invited upon. But the kind of the thing there, when you're fully maximizing your lift and your lift potential, you are essentially working your central nervous system to its maximum extent, so that way it can innervate all of your, well, it's already innervating, but let's say that way you can activate all of your muscles that you're using for that lift, right? So you're really pumping and pushing your central nervous system to a higher level, where alcohol can aid after that as a depressant to help bring you back down, so that you might be able to achieve a similar or greater lift on your next repetition. So both sides of the coin.
Another interesting factoid I love, there used to be, it's antiquated now. It's been debunked, because the great thing and the horrible thing about research is you keep researching. And so eventually we'll find newer things. But for a while, there was a research study out there about after lifting, if having a beer after your strength training routine could help flush the lactic acid out of the muscles. So I like to, yes, if you're watching the video, you see Ryan's face. So similarly to what a lot of people do, I like to pick and choose what research I like to follow.
That is
Even though it's been debunked a million times, I look at that one and I go, yeah, exactly. I look at that one and I go, okay, I'm gonna have a beer after my workout. You're like, are you sure? Like, that's not how it works. Like, I read it in a research study once. And oftentimes, I know we can both encounter people, and you encounter people online, different fitness influencers and stuff that have read one research study and latch onto that. And so that's a very important thing in our industry, is to go, okay, let's keep reading that research. Let's keep following the trends and not just going, hey, beer, muscle's good. Let's do it. Like, that may not be the case.
Yeah. And the same thing was what Matt's talking about with the prevailing research about a lot of these different things is it changes over time. And what we think that we follow and know now in a year, 5, 10, whatever, it might be completely different. You know, they might suggest something entirely different. But where we're at right now, we're kind of going off the script over here, away from evidence-based kind of practice, but there are plenty of interviews with people that are centenarians, so people that are 100 years or greater, that when asked, what's your secret to living a long life?
Drink at least one beer a day.
They'll throw out a beer a day. And I really think it's on the relaxation side of it. Like, if you don't want to drink alcohol, you don't have to. But you really should take some amount of time in your day to kind of try and do what you can to, separate yourself from the anxieties that are around you.
So to kind of advocate self-care. Yeah, I think that in our society, and even with what we advocate, it's difficult to do that sometimes because there are finite amounts of time in the day. So if you're wanting to squeeze that workout in, like we've talked about in past podcasts, where you only have a select 30 minutes to actually get a workout in, and then you've got work, you've got school, you've got family, you've got other commitments. Maybe you're not taking time to take care of yourself. You're not taking care of yourself mentally or emotionally. So yeah, I think you may be onto something there of, hey, maybe it was that I took 5 minutes out of my day to sit down and enjoy a nice cold frosty beverage. Maybe that's your idea of self-care. Maybe meditation is your idea of self-care. Maybe journaling is your idea of self-care. Maybe getting out and enjoying nature is your idea of self-care. Shoot us a message, post it in the group. Let us know what you do daily for self-care, because it's super important and part of your recovery process from your strength training and from your different workout routines.
Right. And like we were saying earlier, part of my self-care is a beer every day. I have a beer or some adult beverage every day, sometimes more than one. But the big crazy thing with it is just, if I didn't have that, I would still have the time. Like I could.
There would be something to take care of Ryan, something that's Ryan time. Yeah, absolutely.
We used to joke before we had kids. So I tried to do it when we had children. It didn't work out as well. I would come home from work and I would literally just lay on the bed, like close my eyes, lay on the bed, do nothing. And I called it 5 minutes of chill. I was like, everybody just be quiet. I'm just going to lay
here. I want you to do that now with your children and let me know how that goes.
It didn't work out. I did try it with Drexel for some period of time. It definitely wouldn't work with August currently, but Drexel's the older one. He's 3. August is 1. And Drexel's like, oh, we're doing. It's like, we're just laying down. We're not doing anything. And then for like 5 seconds of chill. Like, okay, what are we doing now? I'm like, nope, still laying here. You have to be still. Don't move. Just look at the ceiling.
But funny enough, like Drexel is completely on board with you sitting down, the two of you having a beer, right? Like he's cooler with that time now.
Yeah, it's the funny thing. So we get him carbonated water, and when we go to different places, we have a cooler, and there is bottled water, beer, and carbonated water. And so Drexel will call the carbonated water his beer. This is my beer. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So currently, it's fine. Nobody thinks anything of it, but one of these days, it's probably going to bite us in the ass, and we're going to have to explain to people.
Yeah, there's going to be a big conversation with defects you coming
Right.
your way.
Like, who are you with? A Department of Social Services. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. I really support. Oh, I think, oh, what? You're here for what? Let's back up. This isn't what I'm talking about. But and so back to the bigger kind of thing that we always talk about, nutrition and fitness, and the topic with alcohol. Whenever I am designing plans to help people lose weight, I always include something that's like a quote unquote guilty pleasure of theirs. Like if it was me, I would always have room for at least one craft beer, which is going to be a higher calorie count than a regular ale or a light beer. Like light beer is usually like 90 to 120 calories, and a craft beer is going to be somewhere to like 330, 350 maybe if you're getting on the bigger stouts. You shake your head. Alcohol is the fourth macronutrient. There's carbs, fat, protein, alcohol. Alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So if you get a big craft beer and it has a high calorie content, it probably has a high alcohol content.
Yeah, but see, I love that I can get 4 light beers in for what your one craft beer is.
But I like to drink it. I like the time. I can sip it out slowly, have the same effect. I don't have to chug down 4 beers.
I like staying hydrated. To me, it's like flavored water, right? Like,
it basically is.
I'm there on the treadmill. I'm just like pouring a light beer on my head.
I did. There's eventually an effect where it is dehydrating, but one of my events that I try to do every year is the Atlanta Peachtree Road Race, and for the last two years, I think we've done it virtually here in Wilmington. So it's been the flattest 10K I've ever done in my life. It's been amazing. But the last time we did it in Atlanta, I set a new personal record for the number of free drinks I got during the race, because I got 9 total free drinks during the 10K.
So you just thought that was the runner's high.
Yeah, it was the funny thing with it. I was with my brother, and he was more walk running, and so it goes down Peachtree Road in Atlanta, for those of you that aren't familiar, which is almost always at least 4 lanes wide, 2 on either side. Most of the time there's at least a turning lane in the middle, so it's 5 lanes of width, and sometimes there's extra turning lanes, so it's really wide. So basically anybody that had a free alcohol, like free beer, free whatever, I just zigzagged across the entire course to get free things. And even there was a craft beer tent on the side. Anybody with a bib could get a free beer from them. My brother was like, I don't want any alcohol. I was like, well, you get one and I'll drink yours and mine. And so that's how I got
to Ryan running down Peachtree Road, downtown Atlanta, double fisting beers. That's the image you need. And
conveniently, so the race always occurs on July 4th, Independence Day in America, celebrating the start of going for independence. America wasn't actually a country until 1789, just random fact. But either way,
nerd.
But we both went to the University of Georgia, which is older than the United States itself. So 1785, nobody forget. It's over here, somewhere. Got it a lot.
And the people listening to the audio podcast are enjoying that, of not seeing Ryan turn around, looking at his pennants, trying to figure out where the seal is with the arch.
No, it's not on either of these. It's like there's a diploma over there, so you can't see it. It's on the video.
Yeah, same right there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can't see mine either.
Yep, there's a diploma off screen for those of us watching the visual thing. All of you listening visually, we actually did graduate from college. So
This is where we just shit on fitness influencers, right? And just go, hey, just because we look pretty good and like we know what we're doing, like come follow me.
Yeah, it turns out that we do know what we're talking about. And
So
we
like I think it's also important with the subject matter that I deal with a lot of people that are, striving for weight loss goals. They're wanting to drop pounds, they're wanting to drop body fat percentage. And so I think so many people, it's like, I'm gonna derail my progress if I have a beer. I'm gonna derail my progress if I have a drink. I'm gonna derail my progress if I have another treat like we were talking about. And I always like to tell people, like, you didn't, create these good habits. You didn't get all this progress overnight. You're not going to derail that progress overnight. Obviously, everything in moderation, especially alcohol. But if you want to go out and have a beer on a Friday night, you're not going to screw up those 5 days of strength training and cardio you've done throughout the week. And I always love prioritizing, and Ryan kind of talked a little bit about that as well, of like prioritizing what you want. Like, for my treat, I'd rather have a beer than sit down and have some candy or something salty and savory. So like figure out what your treat is, what your self-reward is. Because if we existed in a vacuum, got a chef, you got a personal trainer, awesome, whatever. Like, but we don't. Like you have to live your life, and we can help you live your life with Franchise Nutrition and Fitness to where you can go out and you can go to weddings, you can go to parties, you can live your life, you can have a drink, you can have a piece of cake and still stay constant with your goals.
Yeah, exactly. The big thing with it all is your goal is a long-term goal. Whatever goal you set, you need smaller goals to help you work your way up towards that longer goal. Inside of that, if you don't enjoy the process, you're never going to make it to the long-term goal. A lot of people that try to lose weight on fad diets or big restrictive diets end up gaining a lot of the weight back because it's not sustainable. So
One of the favorite things I've read recently was like, look at any sort of eating plan, look at any sort of diet, fad diet, whatever it is, and think, could I do this for a month? Could I do this for 2 months? Could I do this for 3 months? And if the answer is no, it's not going to fit into your lifestyle. Like if you're not going to stick to it, why do it? Like what I currently do, I can drop weight on, have the stuff I enjoy, still enjoy life, and reach my goals. So to be able to do that is freedom. And I think that's kind of the main thing with people, is to not be, booked into a box, but to actually have the freedom to enjoy the stuff you want to enjoy.
right. So while we're talking about it, what is your go-to style of beer?
So like I know, like it's funny because we talk about our favorite body parts, our favorite strength training exercises, and they were complete opposites. And beer is going to be the exact same thing, even though used to when we were broke college kids, it was very much the same. Just as I get older, I get younger, and I like even cheaper, shittier beer. But like I give me just like a good light American Pilsner or lager. And then like, of course there's like plenty of craft breweries that now are doing like different American style lagers. Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who just released his American style lager, and I found somewhere the other day, and it's amazing. So I know we're not pitching anybody's stuff, but if old Stone Cold wants to talk to us, he can come on the podcast. But yeah, just give me a good old fashioned Pilsner or lager. So what about yours? I know we like the snooty crafty stuff, but what kind of snooty crafty stuff does Ryan go for?
I am currently really into bourbon barrel aged stuff. So when it comes to liquor, I really like a good bourbon, a good old fashioned, which requires a good bourbon.
See, we're opposite on that too. Give me a good clear liquor. Like I love a good vodka. So yeah. People are gonna wonder, like, this is the podcast, like, how are they friends? How are they business partners?
That's the whole thing. I will still drink all the stuff that Matt drinks. That's how it works. And I would say an old fashioned is my current favorite mixed drink. But if I had to go get like a well drink, I'm gonna get a rum and Coke. So
I had an old fashioned for the first time in forever a couple months ago, and it was amazing. So I'm right there with you. I get it.
But for all of you other listening, if you want to find ways to incorporate alcohol into your life, or maybe not, just find some better ways to find some self-care and self-awareness time to help you achieve your nutrition and fitness goals, whether it's losing weight, building muscle, or achieving some athletic endeavor, look us up, franchisenutritionandfitness.com. Remember, maximize every bite, maximize every rep.